Hello everyone, it's Alex from Ernest Alex Reads, and today's video is my September wrap-up part 2. So, the last video that I posted, I will link it down below, was the 7 books that I read in the first half of September, and this video is the 7 books that I read in the second half of September. I read a total of 14 books. I kind of wanted to split my wrap-up again so I could talk a little bit more about each book individually and not kind of feel rushed and not have a super long video. So I'm just gonna get started and talk about the 7 books that I read in the second part of September. The first book that I'm going to talk about is Sanctuary by V.V. James. I got this in a Illumicrate box. It is like the exclusive edition. It's signed. It has a pretty cover. Unfortunately, I did not vibe with this book at all, and I gave it 2 stars. Yeah, this is a, I guess, like, murder mystery, mysterious. Things are happening in a small town in New England. The high school star quarterback dies at a party. And it quickly escalates into this kind of murder investigation. Also, in this world, magic is real, and the star quarterback's girlfriend's mom is a witch. And so it kind of like escalates into a witch hunt a little bit. There's witchy elements. That in itself is not usually the type of book that I gravitate towards, but I thought I would give it a shot. I did not like the writing at all in this book. I didn't get any motivation. The chapters are so short and from so many different perspectives that I felt like if you weren't reading from somebody's perspective, they were just kind of like off stage, powered down, and then when their perspective came again, they were like, now I must do everything and I have to reiterate what just happened. Yeah, there was not a lot about this that I liked. Yeah, 2 stars. The next book I picked up and completed was Florida by Lauren Groff. This is a short story collection centering around the state of Florida or people from Florida. It's not all set in Florida, but everybody has a connection to Florida. I've never been to Florida, but I wanted to pick up this short story collection, so I did read it. I gave this book on average 3 stars. There were some short stories that I really liked. There were some short stories that I wasn't really into, but on average, liked the writing. Will probably pick up Lauren Groff's Fates and Furies in the future. And I had an enjoyable reading experience with this one, so yeah, 3 stars. I then picked up the short story collection compiled by Juno Dawson called Proud. This is a YA short story collection about LGBTQIA plus pride, written by authors in this community and illustrated by illustrators from this community. So each short story has a corresponding illustration. They all kind of focus on queer characters of a variety of identities, and it's just a celebration of pride. I thought it was wonderful. I thought it's super important to have short story collections like this. There's some poetry, there's some fluffier stories, there's some more serious stories. I thought it was great. I gave it 4 stars just because there were some stories that I liked more than others, but on the whole, I hope that there are many short story collections like this in the future. I then picked up and completed The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. This is the first book in the Chaos Walking trilogy. This was a wild ride for me. It was simultaneously the best book and the worst book that I was that I read at the same time. It was it was really confusing to me, not like plot wise, because the plot is pretty simple, just like if I was enjoying it or not. I still kind of don't know if I enjoyed my reading experience or not. Like, sometimes I was like, yeah, I'm really into this, and other times I was like, nah. And in the end, I gave it 3 stars. I will be continuing in this series because I have book 2 and book 3, and I'm invested, I guess. Is that a review? I mean, I guess so. I then listened to the audiobook of Fire and Shadows by Audrey Coulthurst. This is the second book in the Of Fire and Ice series, I guess. I think maybe it's a trilogy, but it might be more, I don't know. I read Of Fire and Ice in January, and I really liked it. It's a great fantasy world, and basically the premise of this series is one princess has grown up knowing that she is betrothed to a prince of the neighboring kingdom, and when she arrives in this foreign country, she does not fall in love with her fiance. She falls in love with the fiance's sister, and the sister falls in love with her. And there's also magic, and a lot of politics going on. I enjoy the first book. I really loved the prequel, and I picked this one up and I really enjoyed it as well. I'm not going to go into a lot of like details because of spoilers, because it is the second book, but I will say I really liked where the 2 women went as a couple and individually. I thought there was a lot of good discussions about like expectations and like long-term planning in relationships, plus magic, plus horses, plus like crazy politics. And I thought it was really interesting and a great sequel. So yeah, I give that book 4 stars. If you watched my wrap-up part 1, you'll know that I read a nonfiction book, and in the second part of September I read another one, so that's 2 so far this year. The nonfiction book that I'm talking about right now, however, is called The Five, or The Untold Lives of the 5 Women Killed by Jack the Ripper by Haley Rubenhold. This book does what the title says. It explores the lives, loves, and tragedies and hardships of the 5 women killed by Jack the Ripper. It kind of deep dives into the history, the times, the environment, and as much as is known about the 5 women killed by Jack the Ripper. It does not go into the murders or who Jack the Ripper was or the investigation surrounding their murders. It really is a celebration of the lives of 5 women who faced incredible hardship and tragedy, and it is an absolutely amazing book. I was blown away by this. I read it in one day. I was very sucked in. The book is split up into sections about the 5 women, and it goes kind of from birth to death, and you learn so much, and I thought it was beautifully written, super informative, and just all around great, and I gave it 5 stars. And the last book that I read in the month of September was Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. The a little bit unfortunate thing is that I didn't really vibe with Conversations with Friends. I thought the writing was beautiful. I thought the writing was really realistic about how people talk to each other. I loved the way the story was told. I just wasn't super into the story, but I gave this book on average 3 stars. So yeah, these are the books that I read in the second part of September. I hope you are having an amazing day and are reading an amazing book. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.